Afternoon. Thank you for coming. Today's meeting, October 3rd. You want to call?
We can do that.
Thank you.
Bobby Levin,
Here.
Rhoda Seidman,
Here.
Bruce Reese,
Here.
Kate Benoit,
Here.
Gloria Sparks.
Here.
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 Thomas Pepper.
Here.
Patricia,
Not here. Yeah. Here.
Joanne Robinson,
Here.
Dave Bowers.
Don't show, I don't know why.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guests. Walter is here and 2 representatives from Academy, Mario, and Omaha.
Correct. Did everyone have a chance to look at the minutes? I wrote them, so I remember. I know you do.
We have a quorum.
Okay. We need a few minutes? Okay.
Move to accept. Move to accept.
I am, I was waiting to see, Phil was looking at it, that's what I was waiting for.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh, all right. So then we're gonna move to accept the minutes as is, unless anyone else has something to say, add, delete. Okay, thank you. Bobby, you're up. Excursion buses.
Okay, Diane and I both have one. You approved at the last meeting going to the Elliott Museum,
Right.
and I have a date. Going to be December 6th. It's $12 now to get into the museum, including a docent tour.
Mhm.
Now, when we went there 3 years ago, they they accommodated us and gave us an empty room where we could eat lunch. That is no longer available.
Okay.
There is a restaurant on the grounds now. I spoke to him, he would give us a menu, but it was gonna be like $17 a person. I thought $17 for lunch and $12 to get into the museum was a bit much. So what I'm gonna do is write on the announcement that the Philly Down South Cafe is located on the museum property. You can treat yourself to a light lunch and then re-enter the museum at no charge to continue your visit.
Okay.
So if people want to, but I'm also gonna call the museum tomorrow and find out if people have a sandwich. Can they sit
Yeah, right.
outside on the
Right.
lawn, that sort of thing.
Okay,
So sign up will be November 20th and November 21st. Cash on the barrelhead when they sign up. No refunds unless the trip is canceled.
That's fair.
That's December 6th.
Okay.
What's the sign up going to be again? Bob?
November.
November 20 in the morning and 21st in the afternoon.
Oh, one.
What time does the bus leave to come home?
The bus will leave here at 9:30 and we should return at about 3.
And what time for the sign up on the 20th?
9:30 a.m.
Till
10:30,
And how many people?
45 seat bus. So
and the next day, what's the sign up in the afternoon?
1:30 to 2:30.
Okay. All right, so you
You'll
need a
take
bus.
care of ordering the
Absolutely.
bus.
Where exactly is the Elliott Museum? I'm not.
Stewart.
Stewart, okay.
Yeah.
All right,
That's it. And Diane has one that she's been planning.
Okay, the next one that I would like a bus for is, the date is Tuesday, January 16th. We're going to the Benzatine Center for Creative Arts. It's a glass blowing
oh, yeah,
and gallery. It's it's in Lake Worth. And it's located, it's a 1,400 square foot art center, 2 galleries, gift shop, and 3 public viewing studios with working artists, glass blowing, fusing, and flame working. There's, while you watch, it is seated. There's also a gift shop. It's a 15-minute tour of the gallery. And then it's a 45 to 60-minute narrated glass blowing demonstration. Visitors will watch beautiful glass art being created from beginning to completion. It is $15 to get in. I believe they give you water. I would like a bus on Tuesday, January 16th. The sign up will be Wednesday, December 6th at 9:30.
You said this.
No, the 6th is when you said it. Oh, December, that was January. Okay, December 6th. Okay,
December
gotcha.
6th.
No, December 6th is.
Got it, I got it.
Going to the museum.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I thought you said.
Oh, oh, so that,
You have to change the date.
I have to change the date.
For,
I,
Saturday.
Well,
okay,
we have plenty of time, so the next meeting you can give me all the details.
okay, there is a $50,
15.
no, it's 15 per person,
Right.
but there is a $50 non-refundable deposit, which is due them a month before.
Well, that's,
Mm.
I
Okay,
think we should be able to negotiate with them and.
Yeah, I will.
Bringing a bus, and we'll pay you on that day.
Mhm.
okay, 10:30 to 12, okay, and we'll be back at 1 o'clock. I just like to know if I can go ahead with the date.
The front door is locked.
Oh, okay. All right,
We have to approve that.
Us?
excuse me,
I make a motion that we accept
just gonna say that.
the January trip to the art.
Glass blowing,
Benzie,
yeah, Benzitin Center for Creative Arts.
What's the name of the place?
Benzitin.
Ben, BENZAITEN.
I'm sorry, I can't.
BENZATI.
IAITEN.
BEN.
ZA, Z is in zebra, AITEN.
Okay.
What was that about?
Trouble with your accent.
Uh-huh.
And it's gonna be on what date again?
January 6th.
Tuesday, January 16th. I guess we will be leaving here approximately, if we do there at 10:30, what do we say, we leave here at 9 o'clock?
Where is it? No, that's,
9:15? I don't know,
no, 9,
We have to be there at what time?
we have to be there at 10:30.
We leave here at 9:30.
Yeah.
9:30.
Mhm. This is Lake Worth, you said, right?
January
That's fine.
16th.
Okay, so Bobby made the motion to have a, did you?
We seconded.
Gloria second.
I'll second it. It's a good idea. Thank you.
There are restaurants nearby if you want to have lunch on your own.
No, it's too early. Okay, do we,
12 o'clock.
vote? Okay, we're gonna call the vote on, did you have it down?
I do.
Okay, huh? So call the vote.
We're voting on taking a trip to the glass blowing exhibit
Good.
on January 16th.
Mhm,
Motion by Bobby, second by Gloria.
mhm.
Any further discussion?
No,
May I handle
And we understand.
right?
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Kate Benoit.
Me? Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
Kate Benoit. No.
Yes.
Ruth Reese.
Yes.
Bobby
affect your
Sutton,
eyes, not your hearing.
Gloria Park.
Yes.
Michael Zaslow.
Yes.
Phyllis Steinman.
Oh, yes.
Did I miss anybody on the committee? Not yet. Falco Fabro.
Yes.
Patricia Caputo.
Yes.
Joanne Robinson.
Yes.
I shall vote yes. Motion carries.
Okay. You'll get all the details from me. Okay, moving on. Any old business? Yes, Phyllis.
I want to know whatever happened to the fact of getting some kind of a machine on the bus for telling us how many people ride the buses. I have noticed buses at Publix at 4, 5, and 6 o'clock are pretty empty.
Okay, before I give you an answer to that one, I'm going
Can I
to,
just finish?
Yeah.
We had it before with our other company. It didn't seem to be a problem to have it put in at that time.
are you finished? Oh, okay.
Patricia, excuse me, are we
Yes.
in old business?
Old business. I think we discussed this many times. It was very expensive, not practical, am I right? Mario?
Yes, we.
Omar?
Yes.
Yeah, I can't see his face. You know, I can't see. So that was part of the reason. And as far as the buses, I know a lot of people tell me this. I can't say it enough times. The buses may be empty. I got on a bus, there was 3 of us. I came back with 7. Season is not here yet. You can't eliminate one bus, one stop. It screws up the whole, they have to go the route. They just have to go to the route. We don't know where they're coming on and getting off because, well, I do because I rode the bus with David one time, the whole bus, which was very crowded that time. But you don't really know how many people are getting on and off throughout the village. I have been riding the buses and the buses could be empty. Then they pick people up here, they drop them off somewhere in the village. So it's not fair to say that they're all empty all the time. You ride only one bus, right? What number is your bus?
Well, I see all the buses, 1, 2, and 3. I really feel that, you don't need 3 buses. I said this once before, you don't need 3 buses at 4, 5, and 6 o'clock to pick up the Publix if you're only having 1 or 2 people. If you send 1 bus at 4, and then they change from the clubhouse, and then send a 2 bus, the next day. To run 3 buses, is expensive, and,
We pay the same amount for the contract, whether
they run or not.
whether they run or not. That's number one. We do. We pay the same amount.
You're
So-
paying per hour.
We're paying their contract, which is well over $1 million.
I know, but per hour.
But they, Phyllis, they have a route which they have to follow.
I understand.
So they have to follow the route. If you're not, we're asking them, the specialist in the bus company, if they have to make a change on the route. If you think that you can do a better route, then present it, we'll give it to the bus company, let the bus company say, Phyllis, you're right, we can eliminate buses. But
That's not really what I meant. I meant at 4, 5, and 6 o'clock. 1 bus goes one day at 5 o'clock, and 1 bus goes at 6 o'clock. You don't need 3 buses.
But that's how it's done. That's the route. That's the route.
Now we have, one bus is going 6, one bus is going 7, and one bus is going 8.
Exactly.
Number 1 going at 6,
Yes.
number 2 at 7, and number 3 goes at 8.
Yeah, we do that.
But if we have more people for any reason, and we need to send more than 1 bus, supervisor send 2.
Yeah.
But for now, we try to after 5,
Only 1 bus goes,
Only.
Publix after 5
And bring everybody to the club.
for the clubhouse, yes. How you doing, John?
Excuse me.
Okay.
I gotta call you back.
Take it outside. Anyone else with anything? Or business? Anyone? Yes, ma'am.
The last meeting, we talked about the West bus that was supposed to be coming back to Wells Fargo. Is it coming there or not? I think I heard it's not coming.
It's not coming because it leave me a lot of times.
Yeah, we, the last, not last meeting, the meeting before, we had a lot of complaints about that, or they were actually not complaints, were more like suggestions for us to bring this bus to the West Fargo. And this is what's happening. Which I made a few phone calls to the residents to understand better what was the problem, because the internal route goes to West Fargo every hour. It's what, route number 1 goes to West Fargo every hour. So they were saying, why was not going there? So yes, we are going to West Fargo every hour. The external route that goes west takes the exit out of the library and goes on Okeechobee, because if he comes over here, all the way in front of West Fargo, to go in Okeechobee is gonna be a mess for the driver, because the entrance of the village is there, the entrance for the office is there. It's a problem for us to go across here. From here, this corner here, across, and make a right turn, a left turn to go out. Now, hold on 1 second. The request from the residents was that if they are in Wells Fargo, doing business in Wells Fargo, and from Wells Fargo, they want to go and continue to another area, they need to take route number 1 back to the clubhouse, and then take the west outside, and then, hold on, I know this too much. I know this too much, guys, but remember, for us to make changes like that, we need to keep in consideration the hours and the timing and everything. Also, if it is too dangerous for us to go across the street with a bus full of people, we need to take all that in consideration. It's not easy for us to just say, we're gonna do it and tell the driver, go ahead and do it, because we can have an accident. Think about this for a second. The bus is right here in this corner, right here. Coming out of the West Fargo, he has to go north toward the entrance of the village, and then at that point, go over 2 lanes, the entrance and the exit, to face out again to continue on the route. Believe it or not, doing that is not safe.
But they used to do it.
But we used to
It's
do
just this big one stop. They used to do that.
Guys, hold on 1 second. I know these at the West route were placed in effect not long ago. So I don't know how you guys were doing it before, but this route was placed in effect not long ago.
Okay.
So the fact that the West route is going out there and pass by in front, it's not long ago that we started doing that. So if you're telling me that you guys used to do it, I don't know when that
That
happened.
was the perimeter, wasn't it?
We did that for years.
On the-
They used to, they used to come all the way.
All right,
But now without, guys.
all right,
Wait, guys.
Come on, guys. This is a committee meeting. This is a time for the committee to do their business, and we're inside of an agenda right now. We thank you for coming to the meeting and observing, and at the end of the meeting, there'll be a time for comment. We have to let the committee go about its business right now, all right? So why don't we just move on?
Okay, no, it's not. We're just gonna go through the agenda first.
Is there anything else on the business?
An old business, no,
Anything else we'll go on to do?
no. We're going on to new business, David. What's new?
No new business.
I have no new business. Anybody on the committee have any new business?
General discussion.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to it now. We're gonna move on to general discussion now.
Can I speak?
Yes,
All right.
yes.
I see this, that nothing has been done with the 3 buses that I complain about, the handicap sitting there. And it's the same thing. Now, the other day, a bus came and had 3 seats on the right-hand side, beside the 3 seats on the left side. With an overweight woman was sitting there, and there was no space to get in and out. That has to be corrected. Either it's not for the
Oh, I know
handicap,
what you're saying.
or those seats should be removed. This is the truth. The lady yesterday, when stepped on the lady's feet, she couldn't get out. She had to walk.
Now, I had an incident Friday on the 3 bus. I had a walker go into my leg. I had a wound there already, and because I'm an elderly old lady, I have thin skin. I bled for 2 days. We've only 4 passengers
I
on
know
the
what she's
bus.
talking about.
One lady that was on the bus said to the bus driver, "Do you have a first aid kit?" And he got up and gave me a Band-Aid. It was only a Band-Aid wound. It was nothing that I could say needed stitches or anything like that. I went on my business that day. I went to Public, I went shop, but I bled for 2 days. And the lady who had this oversized walker was a Cadillac walker, beautiful. That should not be on the bus. If you're in Humana, if you have insurance with Humana, they give you a walker that's a nice size, it's light, it won't harm anybody if it happens to get out the collision. So I say, something has to be done with these oversized walkers. Like I said, I had a wound already, which I was taking care of, and this walker hit my leg, I bled. But that's not fair, this is
You
what.
know what, you mind me?
So if anyone can understand, you don't ride the bus on it. If you ride the bus like I drove for 60 years, when I was 90, I stopped driving. So my only way of getting around is on the bus, and I'm very thankful. I get around, people who know me, know Nancy Coletta is always on the bus, and I do what I have to do. And I'm thankful for these buses, but that does not mean there has to be an accident. So that should be omitted, those 3 seats have to be taken care of, either not for handicap, which you, Mr. O'Mara, put a sign on over those 3 seats, saying they were for handicap.
Okay, Nancy, I got it. I'm gonna talk to them now. You know what she's saying? And I rode the bus. I was on that bus. You know, the first seat you come in is the handicap. They do have these large carts. Now, if they can move the carts, there's the seats that go this way, and there's room to put the carts. The problem is, the day that we rode the bus, there were no carts, but I had to step over people's feet. For some reason, it's very narrow. I don't know what's on the left, the motor or something on the left of the bus, but it's a very difficult place to maneuver.
Do you want to remove the seats?
I think that we would be safer to remove those 3 seats.
Yeah.
Because there's too many people getting hurt and tripping over. These ladies said it, I saw it, she said it many times, a lot of people, it's dangerous. It doesn't really serve. I mean, the seat is right, the other handicap seats are this way, that's plenty. And they have room to put those carts.
Maybe the solution is remove the seats because.
Yeah, and maybe it's the easiest thing.
Because many times we have people sit on these 3 seats.
Yeah.
When the supervisor or the driver asking the person, can you?
They don't.
Please sit?
They don't.
No, why?
And
I
that's,
don't have to move. So.
that's true.
And there is something that you guys need to understand in our position as a transportation providers. We are not allowed to discuss with anyone why is using a handicap or ADA assigned seat, because disability sometimes or many times disability are not visual. So if someone is coming with a walker, you may realize that there is a emotion, disability that is preventing this person to have full emotion, right?
Yeah.
But if there is a mental illness, if there is a heart disease, if there is many other things, it's visual. You cannot judge because this person is not coming.
I know that. I know that.
So as transportation providers, we are not allowed. We can get sued by discussing these things. We can suggest, we can ask nicely to please do it, but that's it. That's the end of it. We cannot go beyond there.
So let me,
Removing the seat, if you believe that removing the seats will fix the problem,
yeah, yes.
we remove the seats. We're here to work for you guys. If you believe that is what we need to do, we will remove the seats.
How does it,
But that's gonna limit the number of seats, that's number one. Think about it, it's gonna limit the number of seats. Believe it or not, it's 3 more seats in the bus. That's number one, and number two,
The problems with people.
then people that actually may be needing those seats need to walk all the way to the back of the bus maybe to get another seat. So that's, it's totally up to you, it's totally your call, we will do whatever you want, guys, but from our point, it's just education to the residents. They need to be educated, they need to work to, you know,
With each other.
with each other, and they need to do what they need to do.
How does the committee feel about that?
Omar, I mean, over the last 4 months, one of the complaints has been that when people are sitting on both sides, they're tripping over feet, they're
Not
tripping over
supposed-
carts, they're tripping over ice
No,
coolers.
faster, someone, it's one side, there's
I-
something on the other side, and they can't, it's just too small to get
That's
by.
what I'm saying, but it's the same area that's being brought up
Yeah, I
every
know that.
single
I
month.
know that.
I think it's up to you
Okay,
to handle it's not up to us to tell
We're
you to
gonna-
take those.
we're gonna
seats
leave
out.
the seats. I'm gonna leave the seats, you know, the bottom part of the seat actually lift.
Right.
Yeah,
So we're gonna go ahead and leave those seats, we're gonna cancel them temporarily, we're gonna clean everything to make sure that we, you know.
To see what happens.
yeah,
and
but see if it works
right,
better.
Also, we're gonna have the drivers instructed that no one can sit in that area.
Yeah,
Because once you leave the seat, there is a support for the seat,
I got it, I got it.
and then
Yeah.
we can try that. and-
We can give it a try and see how it works for several months, and maybe the complaints will stop.
By all means.
I mean,
And-
there's always gonna be someone complaining, but basically, a lot of people have tripped.
And Omar, we're gonna expect that you guys are gonna make sure that we remain in compliance with all local laws, right? That we kind of rely on you for that.
Yeah, well, we're not removing all handicap, we're removing these specific seats, but there are other handicap seats on the bus.
There's nine seats,
Excuse me, I think Faith wants, pardon me?
there's 9 seats, the
Yeah.
handicap.
Faith, did you want to say something?
Yeah, when you're,
Go ahead. No, wait, she was there first.
I see you wait at the bus stop at Newport, only when Newport is open. I was on the bus this morning, 10 o'clock. When I went up there, I asked the guy if he's going by Newport, he said no, and he didn't go down there, so I got off the bus up here and I walked here. That's this morning.
That's not right.
Morning.
What time was that?
That's,
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
that driver is doing a person kid.
Really, do you know the guy? Who knows the name?
Yeah, but I don't know his name.
I don't know his name.
Well, it doesn't matter, it's 2 days, right?
Yes.
Okay,
this morning,
today's 10 o'clock, we know who's.
Row one.
Yes, and he chops off some of the roads sometimes.
Yeah.
I see.
Why don't you give me that
So-
in writing?
Besides saying I'm not gonna go there, he gave you a hard time or something?
They don't get it.
Yeah.
No, I got off.
Let them do it.
So long as you want.
Yeah, but you say the driver is not doing a good job. Besides this incident, is the same driver
I can't answer.
constantly doing the same thing?
Gotta put it in writing.
You remember?
Okay.
If it is the same driver,
Just-
I know this morning, but once in a while, most of the time they do.
I know.
This
I know.
morning,
All right,
I was
okay.
on the bus.
Excuse
And I
me,
walked up.
excuse me.
Right, I know.
Everyone in this room, I said it repeatedly, I gotta say it again to you two and you also. Instead of coming here and put it in writing, you gave me something this morning, was scanned over to them.
Maybe that's it.
Everything has to be put in writing. We can't turn this meeting,
It's all writing.
I know, but we can't turn this meeting into always a constant discussion with everyone. And we can't attack me or the bus company. So if you put it in writing
It's there.
and you can bring it up, but we can't get into this great discussion all the time.
And the other thing, the post office, is it a designated stop? Or
Again.
to ask that you want to go to the post office?
No, it's a designated stop, but we discussed this the last.
This is,
I just said that.
Yeah, but don't-
guys, again,
They don't go. They said nobody didn't ask to go to the post office. Right?
They
Okay,
go. And if you see,
Guys, put it in
they
writing,
go,
please.
report that.
let's do that. Whatever you have to
I know.
complete, just put it
They don't
in
listen.
writing and then we're gonna follow through.
Break into it.
Right.
That's good.
Okay.
The passes. So, he said everybody have to go to pass.
yes, Fausto.
I have a question. Guys, this morning at 10:30, a bus came in here. A woman that just had knee surgery.
Oh, yeah.
The bus did not kneel. This woman had to stop, had to come down that last step. Now, we've also gotten several complaints. I told them to put it in writing. I haven't received anything. But are all your buses kneeling? Because somebody told me that the bus driver said that the system doesn't work.
No,
Is that true? I don't think so. I'm just, but this morning, the bus that dropped the people off here did not kneel.
okay, as a part of the inspection, the pre-trip inspection, the drivers before leaving the yard, are supposed to check the nail, the doors and everything.
Okay.
If at the pre-trip, there is any defect with the nailing, we assign different bus to the route.
Okay.
If something happen along the road, along during the day, that causes the bus to stop kneeling, the driver is supposed to report it to the supervisor and we bring another bus.
Okay.
We replace it. May happen that in one trip, for any reason, the system may be defective. And I'll tell you something, believe it or not, the kneeling systems, it's air-based.
Right.
Works with air.
Right.
And sometimes the lines get clogged. All we need to do is you take it back to the shop, clean the
Clean it.
lines, drain the tanks because it gets water in the tank. Drain the tanks and it goes back to normal, but we replace it because we have to make sure that we comply with this now. It seems to me that it's the same driver, so we're gonna follow up. Because 10 o'clock he didn't come in here, 10:30, Nili is not working. He's a new driver. Okay, so we may need more training, we may need to talk to him. So this is the kind of feedback that I want. So I appreciate you guys telling me this.
That's a very good thing you brought up. Susie? Yes, sir.
Okay, and I understand the situation with driving, and I said to myself, I'm not gonna say anything in this meeting. But I think you have to tell your drivers, when they see people that have difficulty walking, will say, wait a minute, I'm gonna put the ramp down for you. A lot of people don't know that a ramp is available. And I think this is something that your drivers should be providing this service to us as the customer.
I totally agree with you, but the question here is not,
Now, the question is, your people should let the customers know that
exactly,
the ramp. that you're-
exactly, the drivers are supposed to offer the ramp service, not
And
to,
they really don't.
not to force them to use the ramp. Because you tell them, wait a minute, I'm gonna put the ramp for you, and the person may not want the ramp.
I
So
understand.
the drivers must offer the service. Do you need the ramp? Do you want me to pull the ramp? I agree on that.
I don't think you understand it.
Yes, I did. Yeah, I totally understand what you're saying.
You can ask too, because I was going on the bus with the lady the other day and I asked. for
I
them to-
totally understand. My point is, drivers will not force you to go through the ramp. If the driver notice that you need the ramp, they will offer you the ramp. They will not tell you, wait a minute, I'm gonna pull the ramp for you. Because if the driver tells you, wait a minute, I'm pulling the ramp for you, the driver is forcing the passengers to go through the ramp. Some people don't like the ramp. They feel like walking into inclined surface is dangerous for them. So my drivers will offer the ramp. We're gonna make sure that they offer you guys a ramp. They let you know that there is a ramp system and they will let you know, do you want me to put the ramp for you? Do you need the ramp? And that will be the customer's option to say yes or no.
Sorry, I brought it up.
No, that's quite right. I do want to mention something, and the women did not drop off the paper. I asked them to. A couple of times, someone has told me, and I said, please put it in writing so I could give it to you, that at 11:45, instead of them taking the person to their stop, they said, you got to get off at the clubhouse and you have to walk from here.
That was last month.
Yeah, no, there also last week I got from another person. So I'm not, but I don't have anything in writing. I'm just gonna give you a heads up. When they bring it to me in writing, I'll give it to you, but that's not the case though. If someone is close to their,
That's when the
That's the
door was
perimeter.
open?
pardon me?
That's, is she talking about the perimeter,
Stop.
Yeah.
No, you said this happened in the clubhouse.
No.
They're not-
She said it happened last month. No. It happens when they're going around to the stops, but 12 o'clock is everyone's lunch hour, I gather. And
7:45, they doing the perimeter.
Oh, okay. I see.
yeah, but he told gonna drop her off at the clubhouse because we don't have time to do the perimeter. Now, this happened twice. Unfortunately, I don't have the paper. I asked her to put it in writing. When I do, I'll send it to you and then you'll know who the driver is and what bus.
Yes.
Okay?
We talk with the drivers about that.
Yeah.
Mario. We have.
Madam Chair,
For that.
Pardon me, who's that? Oh, yes. Ed?
yes, Madam Chair,
Yes.
this is Ed. Can I interrupt with something?
Yes, I'm finished. Yes, go ahead.
watching this, and it's always a great deal of complaints, and you're trying to satisfy everybody. However, there is a small piece of software, which I've been reviewing, that would eliminate a great of these problems, because it will tell you when a bus stops, when it doesn't stop, how long it stops for, if the driver's on, if the driver's off, and it's not very expensive. The problem is, and there's more than one program that will do it, major company is Infinity. The Infinity, we all know, has it. But you have to have the same buses all the time, because the equipment is loaded on the bus. The only piece they're missing, and they're working on it, is the amount of riders at any one time. However, you can contact it. It is very easy to use, but it needs to have a staple platform. Now, any business has peaks and troughs, and the buses are no different. We have buses that are riding empty. Now I hear we have buses that are over full. How can you adjust to that?
What?
Well, the one piece of software, which comes from another company, is to have the number of people on the bus at any one time. Now, who says you have to send only one bus on every single route? You will also know, that I spoke to some of your drivers, that while you have 200 and some odd stops, they may only make one or two. So that piece of equipment would help satisfy a lot of what I see here.
We have different buses.
Thank you.
Thank you for that information.
Don't you have GPS in the buses?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can tell you from my phone who's driving, what speed is driving at, where the bus is at, if it's in right lane or left lane,
Okay,
for how long the bus.
That's what I thought.
I already, you have all that.
I thought, yeah, okay.
Okay, moving on to the good and welfare.
One more thing. How do you get everybody to ride bus with a pass?
What?
Pass, don't everybody need a pass?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What's your point? You said so. Tell them
Because
what.
some people, they don't have pass. They know how to ride the bus because if the bus stops at public, I told that already. The driver may come out and leave the bus home.
Yeah, I know.
Somebody sit in the bus and go to the back, and sometimes you just come in and put on the seatbelt and drive.
Yeah, that's true.
Put that in writing. If you ever see it, if you ever see a driver leaving the bus unattended with the doors open and customers on board, I need to know.
Oh, then
Put it in
I'm
writing, time, day, bus number, route, put it in writing,
guilty of that.
okay?
Yeah,
Because that's it, that is totally unacceptable.
Yeah,
It
there's,
is.
there's one driver, and when next time when I go to Publix, I'll get the bus number.
Please let me know who's the driver.
He goes in and he buys tickets and he leaves the door.
I need to know who's the driver.
I'll tell you.
The only way we have to offering a really good service is when we receive information from you.
That's what I keep saying.
Because I don't think nobody has the system to looking at the same time to every.
Every driver, exactly. We cannot be over
So-
every driver's shoulder.
Running?
All the time we receive the complaint, we're looking cameras, we're looking GPS, we're looking, and believe it or not, we taking the driver to the office and
Yeah. Yeah, and they need to be accountable for what they do. And it is
so,
unacceptable. And this is something that we have meeting with the drivers and we give drivers instruction, we give them memos and we keep them. If the driver's not doing it, then this is not a job for him.
the reason we are here is because we want to offer the best service.
Okay, look,
Sometimes we need that information from you, and
let me tell you something, guys. We had a system where we had one security camera on the buses. The system was set up to catch motion. If the bus bounces, maybe going over the curve or something. If the bus is pulling out too hard, the bus is braking too hard. The system used to catch all those actions. Usually because we were monitoring the drivers, when the driver have to brake hard because he's not paying attention.
That's true.
Then the system also allowed us to check incidents inside the buses. If we had the time, the hours, and the bus number. We changed all that. We spend millions of dollars now on the system that we have in the buses. And if you notice it, we have 8 cameras on the buses. Not one, we have 8 cameras on the buses.
Didn't know that.
And they are recording 24/7.
Wow.
They are recording 24/7 from different angles. We have 3 cameras, we have 2 cameras pointing at the bus.
Ladies, yeah,
We have 1 camera pointing at the driver, 2 cameras pointing at the door, and 2 cameras pointing on the side of the bus, so 1 camera pointing at the back,
good.
and 1 camera pointing in front.
That's good.
And they're recording 24/7. All I need to know, it doesn't matter if the complaint gets to me a couple of days after, doesn't matter. That's good. I get the complaint, what time, hour, bus number, route number, and we're gonna try who was the driver. We go check the cameras. If I see a driver stepping off the bus, leaving the bus unattended, going to police to buy tickets, he's gonna get fired. We're gonna give him a warning, he's gonna get a write-up for doing it, and the next time he does it again, he gets fired.
Right.
They need to account for what they do. I'm tired of coming here, you guys telling me things, and we're not able to do anything. I need to know who the drivers are.
That's my,
Tell me.
this is all the
Just let me know.
They don't-
Put it in writing, take the time.
Right.
Because it's easy to tell me when you see me, oh, I see this, I see, no. Take the time and put it in writing. Bring it to me and I'm gonna sit down with the driver and say, read this. Is this you? No, it's not me. Hold on 1 second. Look at the video. Is that you? Yes, it's you. You're gonna get 3 days home.
Right.
Because it's the first offense. Second offense, you're out of the door. And they're not gonna do it again. And if they do it, they know what the risk. That's it.
That's why I keep saying it has to go in writing. I don't know how many times I can keep saying it, but that's the only proof, and that's the thing we have, and that's what they can look up. It's a film, and then they know who's doing this. So,
It's just words.
you know, the thing is that whatever it is, you know, if someone, like they tell me buses are going fast, I believe it, I've seen it, I've jumped back myself. Give me the bus number, the time, and I'll pass it on. You just can't tell me that. I'm not gonna verbally tell them because I have nothing to back it up. You know, so people have to fill out the form. It's easy to get. I have them here. I have it at the clubhouse. They bring it to me from the clubhouse, or they give it to me here. And I'll always get it. And I have Donald scan it over to them, send it to them this very same day. So that's the way we can resolve some of these problems. Now, anything else before I adjourn this meeting? Yes,
Yes.
wait, excuse me, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Go ahead.
I waited for the bus by Wells Fargo this morning. Never can. The West Side bus. Right
The-
by
The West Fargo is not stopping in West Fargo.
Which,
The West Route is not stopping in West Fargo.
which one stops? I don't even know.
The route number 1 is the one stops in
Oh,
West
the one,
Fargo.
number 1, that's the only
And
bus.
I promise you guys, I'm gonna keep looking into that. I know
The
you,
one came, the one that goes to Walmart.
No, that's not
The West Side bus,
Yes.
never stopped there
It's not supposed to.
by Wells Fargo.
operating.
guys, I'm gonna continue looking into that, see what we can do. Since you want it so desperately, I'm gonna look into see what we can do.
I'm telling you, that just stopped.
Do you have the skill? Do you have the skill?
Schedule.
No?
Do you have any schedule with you?
Schedule, the bus schedule. I don't think she,
It's the 11 o'clock bus.
They were.
Madam Chair,
1 minute, someone is
Yeah,
speaking.
The bus schedule. The bus stops is supposed to go from the library to Wells Fargo.
No.
No, no,
No.
that's what he's saying, only the number 1. I really didn't know this
That's
one.
not, that-
But this is a misprint.
Why is it a misprint?
Let me see that.
Oh,
Because they put it in the minutes that it started.
okay, let him say.
They put it in the minutes that it started. And,
They don't have any more going to Walmart.
They do, they do.
We are going to.
Okay, shh. All
Patricia,
right, guys, 1 minute, please.
Patricia,
1 minute, please.
Patricia, they have misunderstanding on the agenda. Here it says. That's what they're trying to say. In the agenda says here,
The agenda?
yeah.
Yeah.
the agenda of the lady.
In a minute.
Give me a minute. What is
It
it?
says, one to the third paragraph says, minutes were corrected, including that the stop was committed at Wells Fargo. As of today, the bus is stopping there. The bus is stopping there, route number 1, not the external route.
So we have to put number 1.
It's the number 1 that is stopping at Wells Fargo,
Okay.
not the external route,
All right.
not the west route.
so you're not going to look into it?
I will.
Oh.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Grossman?
I heard during this discussion that their seating was not to everybody's satisfaction. Do we have any idea of how many wheelchair-bound residents use the bus service?
I heard 2, but I can't state that as a fact. And what's the difference? The manager is the one who suggested we have those 3 seats, just 3 seats lifted up so that people can get by.
Well, any suggestion should be considered. However, if we only have 2 residents who use the seats designated for wheelchairs, I think that's an overkill. If
We already
everybody's
did- Ed,
entitled to,
Ed, Ed.
everybody's entitled to be comfortable, but you're never gonna satisfy everybody. And out of almost what,
I know,
8
but
to
we-
10,000 people?
We
you have
discussed
only
this.
2?
We just.
That's up to you. But it's really overkill.
Okay, thank you. Anything else, anyone else before I adjourn the meeting? We went to, I said good and welfare. I said good and welfare. Yes, sir.
Go ahead, sweetheart.
Yeah, Mr. Right,
Move to adjourn.
already know.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you for coming.
Why not? We want to try to.
I got a headache.
If you're not talking, we can't help you.